How does Starlink Satellite Internet work? Beaming internet from the middle of the woods using an extra-large pizza-sized satellite dish. Placed on top of your house up to a satellite orbiting 550 kilometers outside Earth's atmosphere. Well, let's be honest, is technologically mind-blowing. What's even crazier is that the Starlink satellites move incredibly fast, around 27,000 kilometers per hour. And data is being sent back and forth between them at hundreds of megabits per second. All while the dish and satellite are continuously angling, or steering the beam of data pointed directly between them. On top of that, the dish switches between different satellites every 4 or so minutes because they move out of the dish's field of view rather quickly. If you have no clue as to how this is possible, stick around because we're going to dive into the multiple key technologies which enable satellite internet to magically work. First, we'll explore inside the satellite dish and see how it generates a beam of data that is able to reach space. Second, we'll see how this dish continuously steers the beam so that it points directly at a satellite moving across the sky. And third, we'll dive into what exactly the dish and satellite are sending inside the beam. That results in your ability to stream 5 HD movies or shows simultaneously. This video is quite long as it's full of in-depth details. We recommend watching it first at 1.25 times speed, and then a second time at 1.5 speed to understand it as a complete technology. So, stick around, and let's jump right in. First, let's start by clarifying the difference between a television satellite dish such as this one and the Starlink ground dish, which Elon Musk dubbed Dishy McFlatface or Dishy for short. TV dishes use a parabolic reflector to focus the electromagnetic waves, which are the TV signals sent from broadcast satellites orbiting the Earth at an altitude of 35,000 kilometers. TV satellite dishes only receive TV signals from space. They can't send data. Dishy, however, both sends and receives internet data from a Starlink satellite orbiting 550 kilometers away. While the Starlink satellite is 60 times closer than TV satellites, it's still an incredible distance to wirelessly send a signal. And thus the beams between Dishy and the Starlink satellite need to be focused into tight, powerful beams that are continuously angled or steered to point at one another. Compare this to TV broadcast signals. Emphasize the key takeaway of this section, which come from a satellite the size of a van, and whose signals propagate in a wide fan that covers land masses larger than North America. Table-sized Starlink satellites, however, need to be in a low Earth orbit to provide for 20 millisecond latencies, which is critical for smoothly playing internet games or surfing the web, and as a result, their coverage is much smaller. Thus, 10,000 or more Starlink satellites, all orbiting at incredibly fast speeds in a low Earth orbit, are required to provide satellite internet to the entire Earth. Let's now open up Dishy McFlatface. At the back, we have a pair of motors and an Ethernet cable that connects to the router.